carry any hunting party with this absurdly powerful sword and shield build that honestly shouldn't be dealing this much damage for the amount of utility that you'll be providing to the team. The sword and shield weapon type can do many things. It can rapidly apply severing damage, it can daze monsters with its shield bashes, and it can also do one other thing that no other weapon can. Even when the weapon is unsheathed and in your hands, you can heal and consume items. Pair that up with the skills in this build and not only will you be pulling your weight in damage and applying consistent crowd control effects like Paralyze and Daze for your entire team, but you'll also be providing many attack and defense buffs to your team while healing them with little cost to yourself. In terms of attack output, at max efficiency without coefficients, we'll be going from a base of 226 raw to 280 raw, a 54 damage increase, while also having an effective crit chance of 85% when hitting a wound. To achieve this state of being the ultimate carry and savior for any hunting party, we'll be using these armor pieces. The Blango Helm Beta, the Arc Vulcan Mail Beta, the Guardian Arc Velt Gloves Beta, the Arc Vulcan Coil Beta, and the Dober Greaves Alpha. These armor pieces combined give us 2 armor set skills, the first being Hastened Recover 1, which gives us minor healing whenever we land a multitude of hits. It's not much, but it will keep us topped up while abusing something like the Corrupted Mantle or even taking ambient damage from being too close to a monster. Secondly, we'll also get Diversion, making monsters focus us more. This aggro generating build makes it so our teammates can deal more damage with less risk because the monster is focused on us. To note, the sword and shield can reposition very easily while dealing tons of damage anyways, so it won't really hamper our ability to do damage, and we can also turn the monsters around for our teammates so that way they're gonna be able to vomit their damage without being in any direct line of fire. It can even help us boost our own personal damage. When a monster is more focused on us, we'll have an easier time landing perfect guards and his counterattack. While the armor set skills are nice, the individual armor skills that we get access to with this setup are the stars of the show. With this setup, we get these skills. Weakness Exploit level 5. When hitting any weak points, we gain 30% affinity, and if we hit a wound, this is amped up to 50%. A very consistent and controllable way to deal more damage. Next up is Wide Range 5. When we apply any heals or buffs to ourselves, any hunters in range will also get the full benefits of your heals and buffs. Pair this up with Mushroom-mancer level 2 and our inventory slots for heals and buffs increase exponentially. Mushroom-mancer lets us eat any mushroom in our inventory, and those mushrooms will act as consumables that we all know and love already. For example, blue mushrooms are potions. So this means we effectively have 20 potions and 10 mega potions in our inventory at all times. At level 2, we can eat more potent mushrooms like nitro shrooms, which acts as a party-wide demon drug. Demon drugs, when consumed, will grant any players 5 additional raw attack damage. So yeah, party-wide 5 additional raw damage for everybody thanks to Wide Range plus Nitro Shroom. Additionally, with Mushroom-mancer level 2, we can eat Parashrooms, which turns into Armor Skin. Armor Skin grants any hunter 15 defense when consumed, so yeah, party-wide 15 defense and 5 attack consistently. While that may seem like a lot of items to manage, if we put Nata to work, we'll have all the mushrooms we need every single time we go out for a hunt. When using this build, I would strongly recommend making a dial menu for your shrooms. It will save you a lot of time and headaches trying to scroll through all the items. Also, you could bring Mushroom-mancer to level 3, but the additional mushrooms we get access to are not shared by Wide Range, so we don't really need to if you're trying to be supported. With the current setup that we have, we'll also be able to slot in 3 levels of maximum might. This skill grants us 30% affinity when stamina is full. Thanks to the insane innate mobility within the Sword and Shields' moveset, we'll be able to keep our stamina topped up quite easily even when repositioning often. Then we'll be throwing in 2 levels of Agitator from our charm. Level 2 Agitator provides 8 raw attack and 5% affinity whenever a monster is angry. While conditional, the extra raw attack for the cost is too good to pass up on. For our last offensive skill, we'll be slotting in 1 level of Burst. At level 1, this skill is super efficient. When landing 5 attacks in succession on a monster, the skill provides 8 raw attack and 60 additional element. This element will go to waste on a Paralysis Sword and Shield, but even then, getting 8 raw attack from one single 3-slot deco is still very worthwhile. We'll also get 3 levels of Speed Eating, which makes consuming any mushroom or potions very fast. With the setup that we have, we also get 1 innate level of recovery speed and 1 level of constitution. Recovery speed increases the recovery rate of red health, while constitution level 1 marginally reduces the cost of rolls and blocks. With all of our essential skills covered, we have 2 extra 1-slot decorations that can be used in this build. Here you can go one of 2 ways. The first way is to slot in 2 levels of free meal, which will grant you a 25% chance of not using up any consumables when consuming it, The second is to guarantee that you'll always be able to heal no matter what, thanks to 1 level of shock absorber and 1 level of free meal. 1 level of free meal reduces our chance of not consuming any items to 10%, while shock absorber makes it so those pesky longsword and dual blade mains can't trip you up while you're trying to save someone's life by interrupting your shroom consuming animations with their wide-reaching swings. As I was testing this build feels way stronger than what I thought it was going to be. So much so that I even forgot at times that I was playing a supportive build. I would tell my hunting party that I'll be healing them a lot so they can go kinda ham, and I'll just forget all about it as I'm dishing out all the damages and letting people get carded left and right. Sorry guys. I don't know if it's tunnel vision or skill issue, but I really was expecting to have to give up more damage to be really supportive, and yet with this build, I had to give up very little, if nothing at all. The weapon type of Sword and Shield feels like it's in a very good spot right now in the meta. I'm not even focused on squeezing out every bit of damage for this build, and yet I feel like I'm doing way too much. It also helps that Sword and Shield works astoundingly well with Corrupted Mantle, but anyways, that's just my first impression on the weapon type. What are your thoughts on the Sword and Shield? Let us know in the comments below. Also, support your boy by hitting that like button and subscribe for more Monster Hunter Wilds content. Thanks. If you're looking for people to hunt with, join our community squad. Squad ID on screen and in the description below. I'll be hosting crown hunts over the next couple weekends, so if you're interested in the time and lobby ID, be sure to turn on notifications so you'll get my community posts whenever I post that information. For this build in particular, I am using a Paralyzes Artian weapon. The optimal roll is 4 raw attack and 1 sharpness. What I have on me in this video is 3 raw attack and 2 sharpness because I'm not going to spend that much time rolling for the god Artian weapon. The Lullaby Arena Paralysis Sword and Shield works fine too, but having critical draw be its main weapon skill is very underwhelming. This build also works great with any element Sword and Shield. When title updates roll in and more monsters with actual element hit zones are released, this build will do even more damage with those types of Sword and Shields. With all of that said, for general weapon skills, I'd recommend Critical Boost level 3. With a 55% effective crit when not hitting wounds, we'll be seeing critical hits quite often. Critical Boost 3 is a substantial damage amp whenever we get that crit. In the current meta of the game, Critical Boost 3 is top dog in terms of damage amplification for any weapon skills, especially if you have over 30% affinity. We can also spend another decoration slot on bringing this skill to level 5, but for the purpose of being well-rounded, I've opted for Paralysis Attack level 3 instead. This increases the amount of paralysis buildup we deal with each strike. If using an elemental weapon, replace this with the element boost level 3 of your choice. As for the final slot, I'm currently running critical status level 3 with handicraft level 1. This makes it so paralysis kicks in much faster and more often per hunt. Just like paralysis attack, if using an element weapon, swap this out for critical element jewel. If you're looking for more damage over being a team player, offensive guard level 3 instead of critical status jewel is a great and consistent way for you to amp your damage. Whenever you successfully guard with offensive guard level 3, your attack increases by 15% for 30 seconds. Thanks to the increased aggro from this build, you'll be getting this buff quite often. And there you have it, a super versatile build that is not only cost effective and team oriented, but also capable of punching holes into any monsters that you fight. If you're playing with newer players or are fighting more aggressive and dangerous monsters that can easily cart your fellow hunters, don this set and become the hero they need. For more fun builds, check out this video on screen right now. My name is Varsona and I'll see you in the next video.